Playa. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what it felt like on the train ride to prison. Okay. So at this point, I'd been in the county for about 2 months. I had got my time sheet. Okay. That just pretty much says how much time you have all there, what you've been charged with. And basically, it's a receipt from the state, pretty much saying they own you now. All right. You are on state time. So we head out at probably like 4 in the morning, something like that. It's like me and, man, seemed like 12 to 13 other dudes. We're all shackled up, our hands handcuffed. We got the little chain that hooks those two together, the shackles on your feet to the handcuffs up here. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I had a dude sitting on my thigh, and I think another dude sitting on the other thigh, bro. We were cramped up in this thing. It was probably the most uncomfortable ride of my life, despite having to think about the destination. So we load all those guys get loaded up. I'm somewhere in the middle of the van, right? And then we pick two women up. Two women up go into this locked cage-like thing inside the van, I guess to keep us off the women or something like that, right? I see the logic in it. So we head off, and our first stop's in Montgomery, and it's super cramped. So I'm just like, hunched over, shackled up. Nobody is saying anything. Nobody. Let's see, everybody together, man. There's probably like, including the guards, like 16 people on this van. And by the way, I know I said trade, but it's every time I've seen someone shipped off, it's been a van or a bus. But I don't know if train gives it a sense of mysticism, just to kind of dramatize it a little more. But either way, when I say train, I mean bus or van. So nobody out of these 16 people, no music, no nothing, all the way to Montgomery. All right. So that's like 2 hours where I'm at. And I'm just thinking about, it's almost like when people talk about almost dying, like their life flashing before your eyes. I'm just sitting there thinking about my life, like thinking about the people I care about, thinking about, I don't know, it seems like I was thinking about everything but going to prison. But that's where I knew I was going. It was almost like I was coping on fond memories and people and the things I missed to try to keep my mind off it, right? I'm 19 years old. I'm scared to death. And nobody says nothing. No one even really makes eye contact. We're just kind of sitting there. And if I were to guess, everybody's in their own mental state of thinking of something else. Even the people that have been before. Again, quietest ride ever. So after the longest 2 hours of my life, we end up at Montgomery. All right. And this is where the female prison is located. And I remember looking out the window, and I see this woman in all whites and her hat's backwards. And this is in the middle of the summer. She's pushing this lawnmower, man. And she's constantly rubbing her head and sweating. There's barbed wire everywhere. And I'm like, holy crap, bro. Like, these places are real. It's one thing to like pass one and be like, man, I'm never going there. It's another thing to kind of see it on TV and be like, wow, bro, that's a whole nother world. And, you know, don't want to go there either. But when you actually see it, when you're actually like, dude, this is my destination, that brings a whole new level uh, of fear. Okay. It brings a whole new level of fear. And it wasn't even my drop off. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even go into the woman prison. I just knew the two female inmates we had with us, they were going. And these are the first words spoken this whole time. The two women looked at us and said, look, we love y'all and we want to wish y'all good luck. And all of us just looked at them and was like, we love you too. Good luck. And they just kind of gave like a sad, their heads kind of went down and kind of did a nod and got off the bus and started being escorted up to the gate. And that was a super surreal moment, man. It was just like, it went from not saying anything at all to, in a way, not in a sexual sense, but just in a way, just being very close to these people. And I didn't even know them. And feeling bad for them and being like, man, I hope I see y'all again. And it was weird, dude. It was the weirdest dynamic. I mean, it was just the weirdest, I don't know, situation, man. One of the weirdest I've experienced, going from stranger to like telling them I loved them, and watched them walk to the gate. The bus cranked up, and I never saw those people again. It almost seemed like, you ever seen movies like in the Western times where they're like walking somebody up to the gallows and they say their last words? That's what it felt like. If I could imagine being the dude walking up the steps, like what I would say to a random person, like just the last person I'd see, what would it be? And that's what it felt like. That's the image that comes in my mind when I look back to that. It was very, very eerie and very emotional at the same time. And I didn't cry or nothing, but it haunted me for a while. Now, I think it was another hour or two before I got to my destination. So now I have that going through my mind. Now it just got a little more real. We already dropped people off. We already saw people go through the gate. Like, it's not a joke. It's not a scared straight program. This bus is actually dropping people off at these places. And I'm like, whoo, dang, like, dude, my heart rate goes up. I'm like, I'm freaking out a little bit. Not really freaking out, but like, I definitely got a lot of anxiety just talking about it, right? And now the whole way, I'm just like, dude, what did I do? What, like, man, how can I reverse this? Like, can I call somebody and get out of this? Like, please, God, like, on the way, maybe one of the police will get a phone call and I won't have to go here, you know? And I'm just thinking this the whole way. And now it's kind of shifted from thinking of all the people I cared about and all the good memories and kind of coping to get out of this reality, to now I can't get out of this reality. Now I know I'm heading. I just got an example of these people getting dropped off. Like, we are going. And once that set in, the fear was just like, not even of being hurt. Like, the reality bubble was popped, right? It's like, man, I'm going to prison. Like, what's it gonna be like? I can't believe I'm going. I can't believe I'm going. And it was again, it was still so cramped. It was hard to kind of see. So all I did was like lift my head up and look out of the window. And they're extremely tinted, and I'm just seeing trees. Dude, it seemed like for the longest ride of my life, just seeing trees. And all of a sudden, it was like, and it was flat. And then this place looked like a college campus, how big it was. Sniper towers, barbed wire, tall fences, perimeter trucks going around, and this huge gate, this big gate with this like this narrow walkway, man, and barbed wire, just razor wire, C wire all over it. And then at that moment, it was just like, like my soul fell down into my boots. And I'm just looking at this place like, excuse me, I'm going to live here. I'm staying here. I've got, 2 years at least if I don't get killed, right? And that was my sentence, by the way. Y'all can say it's short or like, I don't really care. I'm going to be here for 2 Christmases, 2 Halloweens, 2 birthdays. Like, this is where I'm going. I All I've heard is stories, right? And I'm like, man, wake me up. Like I'm all thinking this. I'm not really reacting in real life. Like I'm trying, kind of just sitting there, just like this. But in my mind, I'm like, wake me up. Get me out of here. Come on. The phone's going to ring. They're going to say, hey, we changed our mind. Like, I don't even know if this is possible. I just hope it is. And then the van stops. And then they open the van and we get out. And the air is different. And I was already feeling tense, super, super tense. Like every muscle, my neck was tensed up. Like everything was just getting ready. My life was getting ready for an impact, right? Like I knew it was coming. Like deep down in my soul, I knew something was going to drastically change. And I walked up to the gate with everyone else. We're doing the shackle waddle, cling, 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 cling. And we get in like this single file line. And then there was a woman. She was like the passenger. I think there was 2 officers. And the woman passenger opened up the gate or radioed in and opened the gate. I don't really remember. And she was like, good luck. And it was like it just echoed in my mind. Like how she said it. It was, while you're in the county or wherever you're at, they kind of look at you like the scum of the earth. Most of them do. Not all of them. But the tone in her voice was like, I feel bad for y'all. And it was sincere. That really got me worried because I'm sitting there like, man, if the police feeling bad for me, like I know this place is bad. Like I know this place is bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So that was my experience. Uh, my my train ride to prison and what that felt like. So until next time, player, holla at you.